Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. This is the season roundup video for the second season. We'll have a look back at how we've got on this year, review some of the decisions we've made, some of the signings we've made. We've also got the final game of the season against Daisy Hill to bring you, and then we will have a chat about what we're going to do, looking to go into next season, and areas that we're going to focus on. So join us after this and we'll get stuck in. Okay, so here you have it, guys. You can see that we have unfortunately not managed to reach the season target of getting promoted this year, but I'm feeling a lot more positive about it this year than I was at the end of last season. We are nailed on to come third. We have got a minimum of 10 more points than we got last season. We got 69 last season. We're on 79 already with one more game to play at home to Daisy Hill. So I would be expecting us to break that 80-point barrier. Don't think I can have too many complaints about the first and second teams, Holker Old Boys and Lower Breck. They've been phenomenal. I think Lower Breck had a ridiculous streak of undefeated, something like 23 games, and for them to get 90 plus points, both of them, I'd have had to have an unbelievable season to have got promoted this year. So I can kind of accept it, and yeah, just be pleased with what I've achieved. Okay, yeah, I did say that I'd had enough of being in this division. I wanted to get promoted. Obviously, you do get a bit of sort of fatigue just beating your head against the brick wall with the same league each year. But we're only going to go into our fourth season and the third one that will be shown on the videos next year. So it's not too bad. We have built a stronger squad. We've moved up the table. We've made a stepped improvement each and every year. I can't complain that much. So yeah, let's just show you how we've got on in the results since we were last with you. So I think the last game we showed you, I can't remember what it was now actually. I think we might have shown you Lower Breck actually. That rings a bell where we lost 2-0. Okay, so then I was a bit downbeat after that. We were quite a few points behind them. We'd had a dodgy run of form there in that sort of new year, the January period, early Feb, and then. So I was like, we needed to go on a winning run to realistically stand any chance. We carried on being a bit inconsistent. Obviously, the Lower Breck game, that sort of run of form carried on over into the Pilkington game. We got a decent win, but probably we should have been doing better than 2-1. But we beat Golco, we beat Chadderton, lost to Ashton Town, another setback. They were up there, though. I think they're sort of in the top 5 or 6 places. Then we started to find a little bit of form. We had a good win against Weybridge, ground out a win against Blackpool, and then, yeah, set back with a couple of draws, which came in here. And then from that point on, I'd very happy with the end of the season. There's obviously two results stand out as bad. Obviously, the 2 defeats against AFC Liverpool and Cleator Moor. Probably more unhappy with the Cleator Moor result. But I think if I looked at the Cleator Moor result, we deserved to win on the expected goals. The AFC Liverpool result, I think they actually deserved to win. So, but if you look at how many goals we've scored in this period and the wins, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins out of 9 games, we've managed to be sticking a lot of goals in. So we battered Littleton 8-0. Now, okay, they're bottom of the table, so they aren't the best, but 8-0, that's the best this team, since I've been in charge, it's the best this team's done. You can see everybody played well. It was actually a battle for who was going to score the hat-trick first, because Ryan had a couple, which were his first 2 goals of the season. Brown was on 2, and then Owen Friend was on 2 as well. A new name for you. I need to come into that in a second. But actually, yeah, Colin Brown in the 89th minute got the hat-trick. So, yeah, the little battle there, he won out. But 8-0. I mean, the expected goals was 3.52. But, yeah, everything we did just went in. It was a really phenomenal performance. And, sensationally, we carried that on over into this game against Holker Old Boys. Now, this was the toughest fixture on the calendar for us, the away game against Holker Old Boys. And we absolutely smashed them. I didn't think we would. I really didn't. So, yeah, well, I say we smashed 15 shots each, 7 on target each, but our expected goals were a large chunk better than theirs. It did get off to a good start for us. You can't say it didn't. 2 penalties is going to see you win most games. But we finished it off strongly, and they came back into it with a couple of goals. I do want to go into a little bit of detail on them because I'm sure it's one of their. Is it Tom Dawson? This season in the league, Tom Dawson, their striker, 37 appearances, 55 goals. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But luckily, well, not luckily, he didn't score against us. We kept him quiet. We did do a specific man marking job on it. Well, not a man marking job, but we did mark him as a specific instruction. His strike partner obviously did better. Is it Javan Smith? Yeah, obviously got a couple of goals. But yeah, I just wanted to focus on that game because it was a really unexpected result. We've not had too many good results against Holker or Lower Breck, and that was one that I was very pleased with. And then yeah, we last game was against Main Road, 4-1 win, nice and comfortable. So going really well. Let's just dive into the squad then, because as I alluded to, we do have this new striker, Owen Friend. So we've also got a new right winger, Aidan Shenton. They're the two signings I brought in. So after the last video, I did leave you guys with the comment that, do I go out and sign more players, to hell with the budget and just make the squad better? I kind of have come to that, or did come to that conclusion. I know, I think I was being led down the path or having the wrong thoughts about my strikers. So I had Stuart Sampson as my top striker, yeah? And all along we knew that he was only rated as a half star or maybe a 1 star at best by my staff. I say kidded myself or wrongly. My opinion was that he's better than that. He had 10 finishing and he scored goals. You can't complain. This season he scored 22 goals in 23 starts. That's a good return. Averaging 7.39. He has by no means had a bad season. But there were too many games where we were bossing the expected goals but not getting what we should out of the match. And I took the decision and I asked my director of football to recommend me some strikers. Had a look at the 3 recommended, and Owen Friend was the one. So we brought him in. He's a 3.5 star, and yeah, his finishing's obviously up at 12, a bit higher. We'll do a little comparison. So on the face of it, you're looking at Owen Friend is faster, he's more physical, he's got slightly better attacking, he's more technical. So he loses out aerially and mentally, and that's it. So yeah, overall he is better. I still debate the stars because I don't see that Stuart Sampson is 3 whole stars worse, but you can't argue with the stats. So since Owen Friend's come in, he's played 12 games, scored 13 goals, got 2 assists. He has been phenomenal. You can argue that's not too much better than Stuart Sampson, 24 in 25 starts, 13 in 12 starts. It's a bit better, yeah, okay. 2 assists surprises me because I think he's done a bit more than that. But what does seem to be happening is with Owen Friend in the team, Colin Brown seems to have picked up. So he's got 29 goals in 40 appearances, but I've noticed him getting into better areas and doing, more goal contributions than before since Owen Friend's come in and been his strike partner. The other thing to note here then is that I've changed the role up front. So it used to be I had Brown as the target man, and then the other guy was Poacher, I think. So I've changed the other striker to an advanced forward. Now this was off the back of one of FM Stinger's videos on partnerships, which was to do with target man and the advanced playmaker. So I had a watch of that. It's a good watch actually. I recommend you go and check him out. So I've off the back of that decided to go for it. Obviously Owen Friend comes in as 3.5 stars. Colin Brown's 2.5 stars as target man. Colin Brown could play as a poach. Maybe not. I thought he could do a different role slightly better. But anyway, that's fine. And that partnership's working really well. Cannot complain. The other strength this season, I would say, Edwin Towers has been still phenomenal. I've changed him to, instead of being a deep line playmaker, I've put him in his preferred role of central midfielder. I think what this does is it allows him to get a little bit closer to the penalty area. And instead of him playing Hollywood passes from deep over the top and getting a few assists that way, he's actually getting into the box, getting in and around the channels, putting some crosses in. So that central midfielder role is just allowing him that extra bit of freedom to do that, basically. So he's got 21 assists in 36 appearances, which is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. 1 goal, so he's not the biggest goal threat, but I think we knew that anyway. But yeah, 21 assists. He's been brilliant. I think he also takes my free kicks and corners, so that's been helping with his assists. And that is something actually that has been paying off in the last few games. Free kicks and corners, I've been scoring goals from. Not too much else to really note, I don't think. So yeah, that's it. I switched back to my wing play formation as well. That's maybe the other thing to note that coincided with this sort of upturn in form. Seems to be working well. There's a major issue there, but it doesn't seem too bad. I think if one of these were on attack, maybe that would go away. But Brown's not support, so he drops in. I'm not too upset about that. I think that's okay. Digressing a bit, my fullbacks have been better this year. Charlie Leach 6.82, Ryan Lamb 6.78. Going into the new season, I might just touch on this at the end of the video, but Ryan Lamb, I'll be looking to replace him. Be looking to bring in a new right back better than him. I have got some question marks about centre back as well now with Joe Lake and Adrian Mulryan. Joe Lake's not been as solid as perhaps he has been in previous seasons. He's my best defender still, but I think it might be time to bring in a new best centre back. Looking at his heading of 2 and his marking of 5, I think we could do better there. So we'll have a look at that in the close season. But in the meantime, I think we should get ourselves stuck into the final game of the season against Daisy Hill. So yep, just join us after this, and we'll hopefully have a good send off for the guys. Okay, guys. So here we are, final game of the season, just about to kick off. Prestwich versus Daisy Hill. Just quickly run you through the team and the formation. The only difference I suppose I've really made is that I've dropped Howard to the bench, picked Franks on the left-hand side, and then brought Spickett in as the central midfielder. Spickett actually played in the last game as well. He's only 16 years old, so I'm just trying to give him a little bit more game time so he can develop. But he's already 3 stars at 16, so he's doing well. Not perhaps his preferred role of Mazzala, but I feel it complements the central midfield better. Just trying something else different out also in this last game, as it's not really anything riding on it. Frank's favourite role is an inverted winger, because I think he's right-footed, playing on that left-hand side. So what I've done is given him that role, and then I've changed Charlie Leach at fullback to be, instead of a no-nonsense fullback on defend, I've turned him into a fullback support, so he gets forwards a lot more. Hopefully, so with overlaps, we're looking for him to go around the outside and Franks to cut in. We'll see how that gets on. Not doing the same on the other side, leaving the other side as it was. So yes, and Smith has been picked over Shenton. That is a mistake. I meant to pick Shenton, but I forgot. Anyway, I'll bring Shenton on at some point, no doubt. But let's get the game underway and see how we do. So yeah, we're at home. We've generally done pretty well at home this year. And the first start is ours. Frank's chipping the ball in. Spickett! And it's 1-0. Just like that. It looked like 2 defenders went for the ball and missed it. And the ball just came straight through to Spickett. We're just seeing the replay here. Franks chips the ball up. And these 2 just completely miss it. Spickett's there, first time, into that bottom corner. A great finish on the turn. And that is a good start. Those 2 players that I picked, they've hit it off straight away. Brilliant. Their corner. Clark with the corner in. Smith heads away. Now Brown on the counter attack. Getting away. Can he find strike partner Friend? He does. Now Friend, well, it's a bit of a waste. Possibly could have held on to that a little bit longer. Could have either fed in Smith down the right hand side or looked to return it back to Brown, but he went a bit too soon. But Brown's got it back now in midfield. Feeds Friend this time. Friend shoots. He's just wide. Perhaps on his weaker left foot there. He has been banging goals like that in since he's been with us. Now Smith in down the right. Crosses Franks in. Just couldn't quite get there. Brown. It's nice. Franks playing in that inverted winger role sort of for the first time. Chips the ball back in, and Brown's there to meet it. Thought he was going to be able to score there, but he just couldn't quite get to it. But he recovers it well, turns, and there's the volley from Brown. A lovely finish. That's 2-0. That is what it's been like these last few games. We've been really scoring some good goals, and early on putting the game to bed nice and early, making it a relaxed, comfortable experience for everybody involved. So 2-0, playing nicely, definitely. Arguably, with the expected goals, we are doing slightly better than we should be, but that's fine, obviously. Things are going well, indeed. Well, yeah, how you doing? That's cool. I think, how's Theo Smith doing? I do want to play Shenton. So he's had, yeah, we're going to give Shenton 45 minutes as well, I think. Just as a back-to-back comparison. Mulryan's not having the best of games, is he? 6.6. Yeah, obviously I plumped for Mulryan this season over Kone. And I think he's done okay. I'm not sure if he's been any better. The other thing I said I was going to do was play Bradbury as my right back and just grin and bear the bad results. I couldn't grin and bear it. So I bailed out on that one and just stuck with Lamb. But as I said, that was sort of at the point I knew I wasn't going to get promoted this season, and I knew I was going to be bringing in a better right back next season. So Bradbury's there, going to stay on the bench next season as a really good all-round cover because he can play all across the back line. Right then, can we kick on in this second half? Sort of a bit of head tennis to start with. Can we get the ball down and play it into Towers? Late chips over the top, bit aimless. Now Franks again, a bit aimless. The keeper looks like he's going to get there. Not really settled down yet this second half. But Lake now to Towers. Here we go to Brown. A lovely switch of play to Shenton this time. Can Shenton deliver a telling ball? He gets it in. Franks heads. Oh, it's in. Thought the keeper was going to get there. He looked like he had plenty of time, but I don't know if he got scared of the post or what happened there. But yeah, Shenton down that right hand side, whips the ball in. Franks backs off, heads, and you think, oh, an easy save for Sadler, but he just sort of parries it up into the roof of the net. Has to go down as a gaff by their keeper, that one. Some nice football going on, but they're giving it away now. Clark on the break. Can they snuff this one out? Gets the byline, crosses across. Ah, that's brilliant defending from Lake. Covers off the attack there. That's what we like to see. Approaching the hour mark. I might look to make another change on the hour mark. Franks has had a nice game playing in that inverted winger role, hasn't he? How's Charlie Leach done in his sort of slightly more advanced role with the overlaps? We've not seen much of him going on the overlap, but he's not playing badly, so I can't complain. Let's look at what we can do then. So own friend, who do I want to give game time to? I think that's the key. Who on the bench do I want to give game time to? Ben Bradbury, I do want to give game time to. That is for sure. Let's bring him on for. Gonna play him at centre back. That's a decision, isn't it? Mulryan's not having the best game. The other one I'd like to bring was Adam Marshall or Stuart Sampson, one of those two. But not yet. I'd like Owen Friend to get his goal first, because he has been banging the goals in, but unfortunately, not today for some reason. But Brown's been picking up the slack, at least. So that's 75. I'm going to bring on. I'm going to replace Colin Brown. He's had a fantastic season. He's got his goal, which means that he now has broken the record for the number of goals scored for us, which was held by Stuart Sampson at 29 goals. I think that's taken him to 30. So I don't think he can have too many complaints. So again, the choices are Adam Marshall or Stuart Sampson. We'll bring on Adam Marshall because he seems to be slightly better as the target man. And that's 3 subs. So we're just going to have to see how that gets on. Obviously, not a lot of risk. Interestingly, their expected goals are higher than mine now. But I don't recall seeing too much of this. Marshall holds it up, but can't quite thread it through. Can we win the ball back? That's better from Leach. Spicker gets it down and plays. Towers over the top. Now can Friend use his pace? No. Didn't go for it, really. Back in their possession. Long ball. This time they've managed to win the flick on and played a lovely little 1-2. Maguire shoots and scores. Yeah, a bit slack defending. Obviously, Bradbury there. Bradbury's missed interception led directly to the goal. As you can see there, I don't know what he was doing, and they just played it round him. Lovely little 1-2 sort of thing. Maguire got through and then beat the keeper. Oh well, you've got to give Bradbury some game time. 3-0 up. It's as good a time as any. So yeah, it looks like they've been unlucky in this game, but that's the first real attack of any danger I can recall. Doesn't look like we're going to get much else in the way of highlights. No, that's full time. But anyway, a good result, 3-1. I think, again, having that extra firepower up front with the strikers scoring the goals meant that we've turned the 1.45 expected goals into actually 3 goals. So that's really good. That's going to help us going forwards, I think, for next season, if we can carry that kind of conversion rate on. So that means that we finished the season on 82 points, which is the best we've done. As I said, we've made steady progress each year, but this year I think we've made a bit of a leap in progress to go from 69 points to 82 points. If I made that progress again next year, I should be winning the division. You know, I'm looking now. I'm looking to be getting to the 90-point mark next season. So there's the table, as you can see. So if we can get 8 more points next season, at 90 points, I think that should stand us in with a really good shot at getting promoted. If we look at the league then as a whole, obviously Holker Old Boys done it on the last day of the season. It was a bit of a title decider, wasn't it? They had the easy game, didn't they? They were away to Littleton, bottom of the table, Littleton, who we spanked 8-0. Whereas Lower Breck had to play St Helens Town away, who were in 5th. Lower Breck did all they could, 3-1 victory, but Holker Old Boys were not going to be denied. So kind of good news, I think, that Holker Old Boys are now out of the division. I won't have to play them again next year. And I did follow, so last season, if you followed us, Camel Laird got promoted. And then I've seen how they were getting on in the division above, and they were absolutely smashing it. They were up in 2nd place, I think, when I looked last. So that tells me that there's probably quite a few teams in the division above that are not as good as some of the top teams in our division. So then if there's some relegated down, I'd expect them to be worse than us. So should be that the performance levels sort of level themselves out a bit, and yeah, we should have one less team that's better than us next season, hopefully. So yeah, I'm looking at next season it being us versus Lower Breck, but we'll see what happens. So I think I will leave the video there, guys. I'll come back at the start of next season and give you a bit of an overview of how we've done over the summer with the squad. If there's been any big changes, I'm going to do exactly what I did last season and play as many of the Premier League under 23 sides as I can to improve the financial picture. But yes, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the season. I know we didn't get promoted, which is a bit of a disappointment, but I am in a lot more positive place now than I was this time last season. I can see the progress. I can see that we are making strides towards the top of the table. The better teams in the league are kind of getting promoted, and therefore there's less of them. The ones coming down don't seem to be as good. So then, yeah, process of elimination, we're getting further closer to the top. And so yeah, hopefully next season, I say this every year, hopefully next season's the season. This could be our year. But yeah, join us again. I do hope next year can be the one, and you guys can join us on the journey. Thanks very much for watching. Do appreciate it. Give us a like, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe so you can see when the next videos are coming out. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.